It is 12 midnight in New York. It is 12 noon in Beijing. It is just gone 6 a.m. Central African time in Mbabane in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Good morning and welcome to the Thursday edition of Kusile Breakfast Show. We are coming to you live from our Hospital Hill studios in Mbabane. I am Lincoln Kule. Many thanks for joining us. It is of course Thursday the 10th of June 2021. It is day number 161 uqalile bongosi umnyaka lo sedulo kanti ke kusele malanga la 204 simqedze 2021 ngulwesine ke wes23 kulo mnyaka bongosi sisevikini le 23 futhi uqalile umnyaka lo sedulo siyavusela maswahle amahle kuphina kuphi la nibukele khona umsakathi Thombe Eswatini TV sethemba yathini ivuka kahle ke futhi labo labaphuma ke endlini basemba sibagcokile ngoba sekumakhata kuleti insuku bongosi na labo labalungiselela ke esikoleni nembala sembe sibanjana abatabe bafuthumele namhla ekseni njengoba kumakhata ngendlela lesi mangalisa bongosi singena nje ehlelweni lomuhla endzaba lesi ngena ngato ngileti khishwa ngu-WHO ngenzaba yemkhuhlane COVID-19 la Southern Africa ikakhulukazi ubuke nje yonke iAfrica yonkana kepha ke la Southern Africa ukhala lithi mathonsi WHO kuthenini ubonakala ngazuthi ema cases ayanyuka into lesimangaliso lokufakasi na live leSwatini njengoba sibonile dinombolo tayitolo nekuthi ke kube nalababili labashiya ke emhlabeni may their souls forever rest in peace. Nasibuka nje Africa yonkana WHO ya report ukuthi there are over 4964 wema cases la sakhona eAfrica. Ngathi ke bamlesebashile balinganisela ku 132,676 enyangeni lephelile ehlile kancane ema cases ehla nga 3%. Kepha ke kuthiwa ke lokungena emakhata emaveni lamaningi kakhulukazi la eSouthern Africa ema cases akhombisa ukukhula ngendlela lesimangaliso. Kuthiwa ke emaveni lamaningi the health sector ayikalungele ekuthenini ngabhekana nekunyuka kwetinombolo le ndlela letinyuka ngayo kanti ke kuyaveta lokuthenini nemavela nge14 lalapha eAfrica akhombiseke kunyuka kwema cases kanti ku 8 wawo lamavela awanyuke nga 30% kuleli viki lesisuka kulo livele lihamba imbini nje ngekunyuka kwama cases livele eNingizimu Afrika lapha esifundeni saseGauteng la kune Josi khona kuthiwa ke ama cases khona agijima ngesivinini lesimatima njengoba nakhona wamemetela President Cyril Ramaphosa sini nembala leso sifundza leso singiletinye 30 funza lokufaka ikhasi bo Free State nabo kwaZulu Natal bo Northern Cape lesebavele bona bagijima kule third wave. Uyaveta ke WHO kuthenini livele eUganda ngeliviki lirecorda lokungenani 131 cases kanti ke kuthiwa ema isolation centers nema intensive care units khona sekavele ke athwele matima lisho sebaningi bantu lesebagcine kuleto tindzawo leto lesekulukhuni ke simo sesiyange kuba matima kulo live lase Uganda. Kuthiwa ke tikolo ngenteka divale nakhona eUganda njengoba kuthiwa ema cases ayanza itikolweni kanti ke naye betempilo ema health workers ngiwo lokhanza ukuthi ayawuthola lo mkhuhlane ngesivinini lesetulo live le Uganda nelivele Namibia nalo libikile abikile itolo ekuthenini cha nakhona ema cases afuna ke kube ngama kuze kube manje livele DRC lelinye la uhulumende wakhona naye avetile ekuthenini ayanyuka kakhulu ema cases nakhona kanti ke bathi lokhu kubangwa nje ukuthi kunale ma variants la sakhona eAfrica njoba siyakhumbula ukuthi kwavela nayo i-variant ekuthiwa i-beta variant leyavela eNingizimu Afrika eminyakeni lophilile kuthiwa ke kunemavela ngi-20 la savele abikile ukuthi anayo le variant lena leyabhedvuka eNingizimu Afrika kanti ke 29 wemave eAfrica abikile ekuthenini le UK variant nanayo sayivele ke ingenile khona eAfrica. Sithemba lelikhulu bongosi ekuthenini probably simo stagcine sisiba ngcono njoba kulinzele ukuthi kube nalawo ma vaccines lafika ke emaveni lamaningi eAfrica njoba ngalesibili ebusuku kufike lo 14,000 lapha eveni laseSwatini sensemba lelikhulu yasinduna itempile njoba yasichubeka yasiniketa sivetho logcina kuthenini uhulumende yayisebenza indzaba yekufika kwalo 500,000 wema vaccines kusisimo sitagcine sesingcono. Kuthiwa ke lapha eveni leNigeria kunale indoda nje bambita ngezingunmen uvele nje wakhulula inganono wabulala abomake about 160 of them wababulala ngesibhuku nangesibulawela United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres usigceke kakhulu ke lesisento lesi wasisento lesinesibhuku nalesibi kuletinye tento letike tabakhona kulelivekati lase Africa bonke silomhlala hlelweni indaba sathi sitibuke nje indaba ngumsebenzi wendiwa ngokwakha indvodza la ikakhulukati kuna inyanga ya June sisi Men's Month ikakhulukati emzabeni tetempilo kuba nje ukuthi ngabe bobabe baseteka kanjani labo labahlukubetekako ngoba singede sakubalekela kuthenini nanoma nje ngale kuhlukubeteka lesetulu kubomake nebantwana kepha ke bakhona labo bobabe nanabo labathi khanza bahlukubeteka sitabe sina Tom Chechate ungiyena director wayo ke ikwakha indvodza bonke sisitekele indaba lethu ukuthi babasita kanjani bobabe labahlukubetekako nisingagweba kanjani vele nje kuhlukubeteka kwalolonke ihlobo ikhona ke lenkulumo lekuthenini akudeclare ishwe even i-gender based violence njenge sehlakalo noma ke nesimo nje lesiphuthumako even sitafuna ke umcondo wabo nanabo bangikwakha indvodza kulehlange silele sitaphinze sibe nalo umphumelo dlamini labo nkosi elechumanisayo namsakade nesive sitabe sikhuluma ngale indaba nje letimnasi tekuthenini labo labathanza lebhola letinyawo kusukela kusasa ngesimbi yemfica but awukhona ke kubukela leminye nje imidlalo kulama Euro lemidlalo nje lemikhulu ya ngivele nje ngisho kanjani but awubukela lemidlalo lemikhulu kusasa nje kudlala iqembu leItaly line Turkey utakhona kubukela nabo Spain nabo Portugal khona la kulomsakade nabo France bongilandi against Croatia utakhona ke ukuthi ubabukele sitabe sinayeke atasicasatela nje ngoba sikuthenini kulanza ama games lafana nalawa ungakha umgwaqo lo simanje manje ya ngale mali kufuna ibhadale ngakho umgwaqo cishe lomhle ngendlela lesimanga kepha komsakade utamile kuthenini yasilethele leminye yale midlalo bonkosi indzaba ke lesase sitibuke kanzi ke itolo ebusuku lapha ehotela le Hilton induna yaka commerce ithuleka lokusemthethweni nakho kuthiwa state business relations ya sitawuva ke kumcoka bekubambisana emkhathini kweprivate sector nahulumende kuze kuthi kube lula kusebenza abade amabhizinisi even ikhulumile ke induna lapho wakhuluma nalonganga EU ambassador Esmeralda Hernandez Aragones kanye nalebekatsamelele iInternational Trade Center sitawubeva ke bonkosi nanabo ukuthi bumini bomcoka balomsebenzi leyo bewendeka ebusuku lapha ehotela le Hilton Garden yebo bewendeka ebusuku ngifikile nami khona lapha ebusuku njoba nyale kusenje sengila angisho ukuthi ngithini bonkosi 5 minutes after 6 asibahlole ethi market siyabuya ke nenzaba ecalata lomhla ekseni
Vuka uvakashe yati live lapho kabantu imbukeli there's so much to learn and see in the kingdom of Eswatini. Futhi sikhuthata kona ukuthi nawe wati live lapho kabandi nalokuhle lokwendekako lapha eveni la kaNgwane. Namambalo uyabona mbukeli ukuthi indalo is a beautiful thing. Ubukhulu baNkulunkulu buyabonakala ngendalo.
Kudla kwempilo, food for life. An agricultural program that shows how a farmer brings food to the nation.
igcine kudla kwayo lethu awuphinze ukudle nasekufika isikhathi sebusika.
Nalinile nje libele lana kuzone liyadwa imbela libele la rate yethu sine lahlanzeka.
Kudla kusemhlabathini konke lesikudingako sitakuthola emhlabathini.
Kudla kwempilo for agriculture and farming development on Eswatini TV with the farm boy Samgelo Vilagati Samvi. Kudla kwempilo, food for life.
Ngicela ngivusele ngomukele nizabe ndecala njalo mhla ekseni ehleleni Kusile breakfast show nasanza kulela umsakade wakho ubukela umsakade wethithombe yeSwatini TV. Silo semhlaba ingonyama inkosi imswati wesithathu sisike inhlonipho nekuhamba ngetimiso tayo. Similo lesifanele singawalahlekeli emajaha. Ngonyama isinhlonipho kufanele ivakale naselulumini emajaheni. Siloke siphefumulele umhlaba ngendvuna yemajaha acumendanyeni makagula. Ngesikhathi ke ichitha libutho lesifundza saseshiselweni.
Evekini leliphelile silo semhlaba inkosi emswati wesithathu sichithe libutho esigodlweni enkabezweni. Imbube emhlaba yashiyela lacobetela kwensaya ukuthi abenge mahlahlandlela ekusekeleni tonke tinyathelo letithathwe live ekugwemeni kwanza kwemkhuhlane iCovid-19. Imbube emhlaba seyichitheke libutho lesifundza seshiselweni lapha esigodlweni eMbangweni. Emajaha ahlangene esigodlweni eMbangweni yachithwa ingonyama emhlaba ngendvuna yemajaha aqumentanyeni magagula. Kulandzela ukuthi afike emaphethelweni nekuvuna kumasimo ebukhosi eshiselweni. Emajaha ageyitheti ingoma temgubho engakawachithi ingonyama emhlaba kanti ilandzelwe yonke imigomo ebetempilo yokugwema kwanza kwemkhuhlane iCovid-19. Silo semhlaba sincome libutho ngekusebenza ngekutimisela nangenhlonipho ngesikhathi liqhuba umsebenzi wobukhosi. Ingonyama emhlaba igcizelele indzaba ukuthi emajaha aqhubeke nekwanzisa tifundziso tekugoma kwanza kwalomkhuhlane. Kanti ke imbube emhlaba igcizelele inhlonipho emajaheni nasesiveni sonke nekuthi emajaha abeke inkulumo ngenhlonipho nangekuhlonipha timiso letibekiwe.
Majaha ingonyama ibonga kakhulu infisela indlela lenhle indlela lenhle majaha inhlonipho nanihamba nendleleni noma nifike emakhaya inhlonipho yinzala kufuna kufundziswane ngenhlonipho inhlonipho isuka ekhaya kumtali wakho ihambi emangweni ihambi esikhulwini umhambo kwemajaha wesingathi tsine usinamhla ngemambo kude chifu kunesikhulu namhla sendihlanganise tonke letinto sikhulu kwasiye chifu sikhulu umntwana enkosi ngumntwana enkosi lobuka umango emajaha kangwane etenkosini Enkosini kunetinduna. Tinduna bafana benkosi. Ndawuthatha i-order etinduneni. Ningangenwa ngumoya yokuhamba utshelwa ngumuntu awuzohamba weweta nje. We ungathi kawulati litafula lakho la kumele ukhulume khona. Majaha lokumqoka ingwenyama yashumayela. Nkulumo yakho na ulijaha. Ati wani uyayilungiselela inhlonipho yayo. Uyihloniphise. Ulandzele tonke letingoni letifanele na uyihloniphise ulijaha. Kwesibili ubuke kuthi lela uyifaka khona le nkulumo itayithola inindzawo. Inhlonipho. Hloniphisa inkulumo yakho uqele ngendlela lefanele ufake inkulumo yakho ngesiswati ngendlela lefanele utawuphila ube lijaha. Ngakho ke majaha ingwenyama ithi ingwenyama iniphala iqembe lenamba nelesile ninone niqobetele nivimbele lomkhuhlane nangu lokuthiwa uyeda nawunonile uyawuvimbetela lomkhuhlane nawuphilile ulandzela umthetho wetempilo ungahambi nje utihuka lapha nalapha ufake isifonyo.
Umsebenzi wobukhosi utawuchubekela etigodini letimbili telive letisele lokusigodi saselibonjeni nesigodi sakahoho. Lacwebetelako nakhona lapho ke abhekeke ukuthi achubeke nekuthobela yonke imithetho ebetempilo yekugwema kwanza kwalomkhuhlane. Lobika kwendzabeni ngisandile Makhanya naThemba Mamba esigodleni embangweni yesifundzeni saseshiselweni.
Lusabambe kuba ngundunangulu umhlonishwa Themba Masuku itelo wemukele umlayeto wengwenyama lovela ke kumengameli welive le-DRC Felix Tshisekedi. Lo mlayeto wethulwe ngundunangulu walela live Jean Michel Lukonde esikhumulweni setindiza King Mswati III International Airport. Kutsenga tithuba tensimbi yesathu yatheleka indiza la esikhumulweni setindiza King Mswati III International Airport letfeleke ndvunangulu welive le-Democratic Republic of Congo thunywa ngumengameli welive le-Congo Mnumzane Philip Tshisekedi. Azike ulese umlayeto wemakhosi lochamuka ke kuye emengameli kaze ubheke ukuthi emukelwe ngulosabambe kuba ngivunangulu eveni umhlonishwa Themba Masuku athulisile dladla.
We came and with a message from the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Mr. Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, and he sent an official letter containing a message to His Majesty Mswati III, and it's an honor for me to come and deliver it through you, the document that was sent to His Majesty.
We hope your travel has been very safe. We will present the special message to His Majesty this evening.
Ngakulokunye losabambe kuba ngundunangulu umhlonishwa Themba Masuku kulile live le-DRC ngesehlakalo sevolcano lecubuke khona kulela live kwalimala emiti leminingi labaningi bababede emakhaya nalabanye ke base bashiya emhlabeni.
Volcano is one of those very frightful natural disasters, and it's coming at a time when we are also experiencing in the whole world the issue of COVID-19. Wish you the best going forward.
And it's even more difficult because we had to ask about 400 people to get out of their home and go to safer places, but now the situation is getting better.
Njengoba ke asuka lumuhla eveni ubhekisa ke mabombe eveni leZimbabwe uyawufika naseveni leMalawi Kanti ke lihambo lakhe kuthiwa liyawuphelela eveni le Tanzania eDar es Salaam. Lena khona uhambisa nje umlayethi loqhamuka kumengameli Philip Tshisekedi kubalingani bakhe. Ndizabende Eswatini TV ngilingithini kule navuse Mpamali sisekhe M3. Induna yekuvakasha Moses Vilakathi ithi ke live leSwatini selikhethwe ukuthi eminyakeni lodako libambeke umcimbi waseAfrika lota ungenelwa onke amave lakhona eAfrika kanti ke lamava atabe ashangatisa ngemasiko awo. Induna ya ikvetelo ngesikhathi ke imukela sihlalo webhodi yemava aseAfrika idinzabende yekuvakasha iAfrican Tourism Cuthbert Ncube lokuleli leSwatini.
Indvuna yelitiko letekuvakasha Moses Vilakathi ithi inhlangothi tetekuvakasha kanye nalelo letekulima live lethambise embili kufubuleni umnotfo akuleli. Indvuna Vilakathi kusho lokhu ngesikhathi imukela sihlalo welibhodi lemava aseAfrika elihlangothini letekuvakasha Cuthbert Ncube ehotela leHilton. Vilakathi uvakalise kujabula ngekuthi lakuleli eminyakeni lotako litawubamba umcimbi lotengenelwa amave onke elivekati le.
Almost on a monthly basis or weekly basis they now meet and are discussing how they will make sure that Eswatini enjoys the cultures of Africa. We are trying now to merge most of our wildlife parks so that if a tourist comes in there, he will now be able to see all the animals at a go. We have about 4 or 5 of those facilities in the eastern part of the country, and once they are merged, we will be talking of about over 100,000, close to 100,000 hectares.
Sihlalo webhodi yemave eAfrika yetekuvakasha Cuthbert Ncube ubonga indvuna yelitiko letekuvakasha Moses Vilakathi ngenzima la idlalile ekuthuthukiseni tekuvakasha kuleli kanye nasevende eAfrika.
We have played a very pivotal role, a very critical role, not only for Eswatini, but for the whole of the African continent. We are so proud to be associated to this great nation of Eswatini Kingdom. As African Tourism Board, our mandate and our advocacy is to make sure that we align and start appreciating Africa as the tourist destination of choice. We have said we need to rebrand our continent. If there was a time where we need to rewrite,
Umphathi welibandla letekuvakasha kuleli Eswatini Tourism Authority Linda Nxumalo uthi emave eAfrika sekathatha isinqumo sekuthi emahhovisi etekuvakasha eAfrika atakwakhiwa kuleli. Nxumalo uthi lakuleli litawuzuza kakhulu ngalokwakhiwa kwalamahhovisi. Edinzabende Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngisembabane.
Ugcine ufika ke heaven umjovo wekuvikela umkhuhlane iCovid-19 waka Oxford AstraZeneca. Lamathonsi salo mjovo lathi ngulungwane tilishumi nakune nemakhulu lamane 14,400 laphuma ke enhlanganweni yaka Covax satheleke ngethuba tasekuseni esikhumulweni setindiza eKims at the 3rd International Airport iTolo. Embikweni betindzaba lo khishwe ngalwesibili indvuna yetempilo lezinkosi ichazile indvuna ukuthi lo mjovo utawusebenta eti-17 tetempilo ukuthi ke tithole lithonsi lesibili lesebalitfola lelithonsi lekucala kanti ke bese sifikile nesikhathi sekuthi titholele lesibili. Indvuna ivetile nekuthi inombolo tabo tikhomba ukuthi titingulungwane timfica nemakhulu lamane 9,470 tetempilo letathola lithonsi lekucala lemjovo we-COVID-19 waka AstraZeneca. Induna ke iphinze yachaza ukuthi leto tisebenti tetempilo letakhetha kungajovi esigabeni sekuqala kanti nyalo titawuthola ke lithonsi lekucala. Induna ichubeke yachaza ukuthi nasebaqedzile ngesebenti tetempilo lamathonsi latawusala atawuniketwa sive lese kufike isikhathi sekuthi ke sithole lithonsi lesibili. Kanti ke litiko liyachubeka nekusebenta indzaba yokuthi lilethe amathonsi la i-half yesigidi laphuma ke enkampaneni yaka AstraZeneca. Hulumende sewukhokhe kumbiko betindzaba lochaza ukuthi indvuna yelitiko letemabhizinisi kanye nendvuna yelitiko letindzaba tebantu labasha bahlangene nalabo lebekadze bamelele luhlangosi lwetemakhono nemasiko kubachazela ngetinyeselo letithethwe kwenta siqiniseke ukuthi umthetho we-Copyright Act weminyaka wa 2020 uyaqala kusebenza masinyane.
Lo mhlangano bewuholwa indvuna yetemabhizinisi Manxeba Khumalo kanye nendvuna yetindzaba tebantu labasha Harris Bulunga. Kulo mhlangano tindvuna totimbili tibikele labo labamelele luhlangothi lwetemakhono nemasiko etinyathelo lesetithethwe ukuthi umthetho we-Copyright Act selokuqala kusebenza. Indvuna ivetile ukuthi sekucashwa umuntu etiko letemabhizinisi kodwa usebenta lendzaba endesiqiniseko ukuthi lo mthetho uyaqala kusebenza masinyane. Indvuna iphindze taveta ukuthi imigomo lesakhiwa seyicethiwe kwakhiwa futhi itawuniketwa labo labathintekako kungakapheli inyanga lesetulu. Lo mhlangano indvuna Manxeba Khumalo ithe iyajabula ukuthi igcine ihlangene nalabo labamelele lolu hlangothi. Ubaqinisekisile ukuthi lendzaba abatawuyisebentela itulu bayidingise emhlanganweni naletinye tindvuna tembuso emahhovisini ato nanome kube netinkinga phambilini. Indvuna Harris Bulunga ithe kumgcoka ukuthi bemakhono sale batfola inzunzo yemsebenzi yabo. Ithi yajabula ngetinyathelo lesetithethwe kulendzaba. Etindzabeni biyelungelela amagagula embabane.
Emalunga lekomiti lelibukeka kusebenta kwetimali tembuso eParliamente iPAC afuna kwati ukuthi kwenziwani ngebagcini mabhuku bahulumende labaphambanisa timali nabasebenta umsebenzi wabo. Lokhu kulandzela kuphambana kwetimali nekusebenziseka kwaletinye ngendlela lengakafanele lokutholwe ngumhloli mabhuku lomkhulu wahulumende etiko letangaphandle Foreign Affairs.
Nalivele phambi kwelibandla lelibuke kusebenta kwetimali tembuso iPAC litiko letangaphandle libutiwe ngendzaba yebagcini mabhuku bahulumende laba lisebendelako labaphambanisa timali. Letinye taletimali kutsiwa tiphuma tiyowenda umsebenzi longakafanele kutsi tiwende.
So I think maybe umuntu longendi lomsebenzi wakhe mhlambe nimbuyisele training abe more vigilant and abe more responsible.
It appears ematiko still do not have indlela ye-performance management system in the form of performance appraisals. Sithena sifika la sakhala ngaleyo system. I-public service yasithembisa ukuthi iku-pipeline. And without lama instruments la njengaleyo, it is very, very difficult ukuthi bantu bakhone kumonitheka nokuthi babe held responsible for ema mistakes labawendako.
Mapalani omkhulu kuleli tiko Melus Masuku uthi basayisebenta lendzaba kepha na kutawulunga masinyane.
Ema records akamane agcineke ngendlela yakhona. Njengoba waveta kunalabo inward book, invoice register, stores ledger lokuthi phela tilandeleke ledingo zabalethi nalama stores regulations. Kwethu ungathi sitawuqhubeka simonitor indzaba le enekusho ukuthi kulesikhathi esikwendile lokho siyatibona ledingo tiyabuya sewathola ama monthly management accounts ayavela abuye siwewedele kuye longanga accountant general ukukhombisa lokuthi le misebenzi lena ihamba ngendlela yakhona.
Umgcini mabhuku lomkhulu wahulumende naye uqinisekisile ukuthi sekukhona lesebavele bakwenda lokufaka ekhatsi kucecesha abagcini mabhuku bahulumende kuqinisekisa ukuthi timali tembuso tisebenta ngendlela lefanele nokuthi tibhalwa ngendlela lefanele. Ndzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela eParliamente.
Babukeli bemsakato Tithombeke Eswatini TV batawuthokota kuva ukuthi lo msakato utabe usakata imidlalo ema-Euro 2020 lecalako ilangeni lakusasa ebusuku. Nembembelelo dlamini lokhulumela lo msakato ukuthi bantu bangakhona nekuyibukela le midlalo etingcingweni tabo basebenzisa likhasi lesimanje manje lalo msakato.
Kusukela kwelesihlanu kwaliviki lesetulu the 11th of June kuze kuyofika the 11th of July sidabe sinilethela wona umdlalo webhola lowatiwa ngokuthi Euro 2020 lokusho ukuthi sidawube sinilethela lena midlalo nayendeka which means they'll be live as of the 11th of June to the 11th of July 2020 kanti ke umbukeli siyafisa kumatisa ukuthi sekude nje sidingo lesingako ukuthi umuntu aphuthume ngasekhaya makafuna kubona lena midlalo njengoba phela siyakhona nokukulethela kwemahlale ekhukhwini wakho kuyo iEswatini TV app le downloadeka ku Google Play Store. Nangabe bowusede mbukeli nalithuba lakho awufuni kuphuthelwa yimidlalo lemkhulu njengalena njengoba phela kutabe kunemavela afaka ekhathi France, Germany, England nePortugal. Nasi sithuba sakho kwembukeli ukuthi nawe ungathokotiswa ngulena midlalo hayi nje na usekhaya kuphela nakumahlale ekhukhwini wakho utawukhona uyibona.
Ngokuthi ngale dote ma euros tibamba lapha kenza bade kuqala talo mhla ekuseni sibathele thina ke nasibuya sina Tom Churchyard la ngumcondzisi wekwakha invosa sina nje ukukhuluma nza bade kuhlukubele kusibanga sitakala kanjani ngokuthi sibathele market sibuya siyaqhubeka nehlelo.
Tena malanga chocolate. No mfo wanchito nang khadla botsa ngicala kabusha nang love bongos.
Usafaka na 20 rand.
Temnethu mani athi
lo gift ediki ukusebenzisa utakhonza uphilo ubeke isingwa etafuleni.
Ngina sengimelele umngane wami bese sihamba sophanda.
Shemu ngichasha maye mahle ebonile.
Ngafuna ukuthi le project ingawa ngikhona nami ngoba angisiyo umuntu othandza ukuthi info ingafa ngikhona. Isine life nesiyakiyo umuntu ngangemuntu. Kuyafuna at least abe nawo 3 skills in life.
Mina ngibonga kakhulu ngoba solo ngatsala ukusebenza lo msebenzi abadinga ngumsupport labantu.
Your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3# and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you will receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Eswatini Television in partnership with Junior Achievement brings you season 2 of Dream It Achieve It.
Lwati ngebhizinisi usiplanning ibhala kanjani ibhizinisi ifuna ini ndakuthola nokuba nje abantu sinto kakhulu.
Be empowered with marketing skills in your business and entrepreneurship so that you can prosper and build our growing economy. Watch Dream It Achieve It season 2 coming soon on Eswatini TV Sibubo Semaswati.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds, full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, to feel the rush of life overwhelm you, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. You ask, and we give you the royal experience. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. There are but a few places on earth so special, so unique, and so spectacular, where it becomes the rite of passage for the ambitious travelers, the courageous souls, to all have the one and only royal experience. That day will into your heart and leap into an ancient world so very different from your own, where magic, beauty, and love are shared forever. Then you will have a whole experience. There is just one place on earth where the people make you feel a part of their kingdom, where you just might volunteer to awaken spirits, enrich minds, and work alongside communities to build, motivate, and inspire. This is truly the royal experience. When you dream of a different world, beyond the ordinary, beyond time, discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience.
Siyaqhubeka nalohlelo 24 minutes before 7 nasanza kulela umsakazo wakho bekulo umsakazo eThombe iEswatini TV sisehlelweni ke lomhla ekseni kusile breakfast show. Welcome on board if you have just joined us. Bongosi ndzaba lesina kuyideka la njoba June inyanga la kusatha kona bobabe nje sibanake ndzaba tempilo sinemcondzisi ke kwa Kindvo sa Tom Churchyard la bongosi lota kusita nje nokusinike tasithombe ngikusitakala kwabobabe lebathi khanza bahlukubeteka njoba sathi nesiningi kuthiwe bobaba bahlukubeteki ma-meets nje la khona around issues of domestic violence concerning men. He is the currently since February 2021. Yeah, he's going to correct me. He's the National Governance Consultant at UNDP. He's also the founder of Kwaka Invosa since it was established in September 2012, around there. All his life, he has worked directly with young people on issues of SRH, HIV prevention, and on gender issues, etc., etc. I remember him being the chairman of the board of Young Heroes from August 2014 to February 2018, around there. Yes, he's also a music director. Yeah, he was the manager for Tripo and Sense. Yeah, when you are watching that video, he is the barman there. Yeah, he was also an English teacher. January 2011 to December 2015. Tom Churchyard, welcome to the show. Good morning, how are you?
Morning, I'm well, thank you, yes.
How was your days in teaching?
Fine, I really enjoyed it, yeah. It wasn't for me for a career, but it was a great way to start my career, and I take a lot of those lessons on into my later life.
Talk to me about Kwaka Invosa, since you founded it in 2012. Maybe for starters, why do you saw the need to start this organization?
Sure. So, nobody was really engaging men in 2012. Now we talk about men quite regularly. You know, we have platforms like this show to talk about men's issues, to talk about gender-based violence and HIV. But in 2012, nobody was really talking about men, and nobody was talking to men about these issues. And so most of the efforts from NGOs and from government were aimed at women and girls.
Yeah.
And there was a good argument for that. But in order to get real change in the country, we have to talk to both women and girls and talk to men about these issues.
Looking back 2012 till now, are you getting the desired results from the Kwaka Invosa?
Sure, for sure. I'm always encouraged when I'm driving along and I see a father carrying his child to school or holding their hand. And 10 years ago, that wasn't happening so much in Eswatini. And now it's much more commonplace. You know, we have seen levels of violence go down, although we've got some big issues with, very violent crimes that are happening. In general, we've seen reporting go up and violence go down. And men, I think, are a bit more confident and aware of their health now. Yeah. They take a little bit more precaution. They might, take some preventative measures before a health issue becomes a problem. And so, yes, we're seeing some real...
Yeah. There are myths around domestic violence concerning men. Some are saying it's a women's thing. Men should take abuse.
Sure.
I just want your opinion on that one. That it's a women's thing. Men can never be abused.
Well, look, abuse is a human rights issue. It's a human thing. It's not a men's thing or a woman's thing. And so it's only the society around us and our social norms and values that says one of the sexes half of the population can't feel abuse. So I think it's important that we have this conversation, we reframe it rather than just a women's thing or a man's thing. It's a human thing, and it's something that if we're going to grow as a society, we need to address as a human thing across all the genders.
Now, for one to support a man who is being abused, where do we start? Does it start with me assisting you, or it starts with Tom Cheshat reporting that, hey, I'm being abused?
So we know there's a big barrier to men reporting abuse, you know, and it's understandable. Boys and young men are taught to be strong, to be silent, to be dominating, to not be vulnerable. And then when it comes to a situation whereby there's been violence against them or abuse against them from a woman or from another man, then we say, I'll take all of that stuff that we've learned from a very early age, and then, you know, embrace being vulnerable, report, talk to somebody, all of these things that are contrary to those social norms that we've been taught. So we have to address those social norms first, but we also have to create platforms whereby it's okay for men to come out and talk about these things, where they certainly don't get victimized or reprimanded by society for it. Because if it is a human issue, then men can suffer from abuse as much as women can.
And society puts so much pressure on men.
Sure.
Men cannot cry. Men should take abuse. What would you say to a man right now, this morning, who's watching us and is experiencing some sort of abuse?
Sure. So firstly, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, the recent crime statistics from reports at police stations across the country suggest that about 27% of those violence and abuse reports are made by men. So that's nearly 3 in 10. You know, so you're certainly not alone. And professional responses are there and channels are there to assist, seeking both legally and sort of social and survivor support as well. The second thing is that it's not shameful to report this abuse. Again, you've got to think about all these things that society teach us right from a very early age, from when you're told to play with a toy gun or play with a toy doll or a princess doll. That gender that we are trying to deconstruct is with us from that very early age. And so when there is a point whereby you feel like you're ready to report, either to a friend or to a designated official, we've got to remember that you're doing a brave thing. You're doing something that is the expectations of society, but that's also good. You know, that's good. That shows independence and progress and personal growth, and that you shouldn't be laughed at, victimized, or stigmatized for doing that.
I also think it's also, when it comes to upbringing, probably we need to change certain things in the African society, the way we bring up boys. We need to change the tide, because most often than not, the boys is taught to be strong. Now, even the roles that they are given at home, they are given hard jobs. I think we also need to change that. We need to balance the scales, because that is when it starts, because men want to exert pressure on women. They think it's the right thing to do. I saw it hanging at home. Yeah.
So certainly, and I think if you ask any boy whether he likes the hard jobs that he's been given, then he probably would say no. You know, so often these roles make men unhappy as well, because if you move that into later life, then you talk to men about, you know, the pressures of, you know, being a breadwinner or being a leader in the family. Again, social pressures that are not necessarily, you know, they're not natural. It's just that women can earn money too, and men can, you know, and take up those roles too. If you talk to men about those in later life, a lot of men say they feel a lot of pressure in later life for earning, you know, for performing those roles. And so the key message, I think, is that if we challenge some of those roles, we not only, you know, lift and empower women into spaces that they have not been allowed before, political spaces, business spaces, and whatever, but we also take away some of that pressure from men. We make men happier, healthier, you know, better in their relationships, less pressurized, you know.
And although that pressure that difficult upbringing, it makes a lot of men angry. How do we deal with that? How do we assist men who are suffering from anger issues?
Yeah. So again, anger is like a human thing. It's not just a masculine thing or a feminine thing. Everybody gets angry.
True.
It's just that women are taught to deal with that anger in a healthier way from birth, really.
Okay.
And men are taught that it's okay to be angry. That in fact one should get angry if the situation allows for it. We talk to young men and older men all the time, and they say, "But I got angry," as if it were some sort of justifiable excuse.
Yeah.
As if it was some sort of, but what happens if she makes me angry kind of conversation. And the reality is that anger is always, is a human part of the human condition. It happens to everyone, but it's how we are taught to deal with it. And so we talk to men about slowing down, about taking a break, removing yourself from the situation, about working out the root cause of your anger, whether it's actually the person you're talking to right then, or whether it's something deeper, the pressure that we were talking about earlier, or the lifestyle that certain men choose to lead, So there are many ways to deal with that anger, and of course at the heart of it is talking about it to to women, but also to other men, and we've got to get to a point where, as a society, I can talk to you and say, man, I've got a problem. Can we have a chat? And I'm confident that you're not going to say, "Oh man, that's not a very masculine thing to do," call me names, think I'm less of a man because of it. And so, Guaca and Votsa and much of the work is based upon men having chats with men about these issues and working them out together.
Boko sister kenza bayihlubeteka kwabobabe sina Tom Chechat la ngumcondzisi wenhlangano ikwakha indvodza njoba kuliqiniso ukuthi isikhathi lesiningi bomake labathi khanza bahlubeteka, but ke there are those men out there laba khanza sebahlubetekile nabo. Unfortunately lesinye isikhathi kugcine kuphuma nemphefumulo bongosi singede sathi chaza indzaba dini indzaba sesibonile nakuleli viki nje indzaba sifunza ngato lagcina khona sekuphuma umphefumulo kusale tinsanzane. I think there's also a critical aspect when it comes to men and domestic violence, trying to help men deal with mental health issues.
Sure. And again, we're taught as young men that, these are more important than this. Your arms and your muscles are more important than your head, and the muscles, in inverted commas, of your emotions and the mental health is not as important as physical health. And that again is something that we're realizing across the world, that mental health is really now a really important part of our personal development, and it affects all different aspects of our growth as a society. Whether we do well at work, whether we do well at home, whether we take that position in our church or offered that position in our community. And so, but again, men are told mental health is not so important and that they shouldn't invest in it. So I think one of the conversations we want to have is to say, right, if men want to be healthy, and nearly everyone we meet wants to be healthy, how can you consider your mental health and do a little lift up the hood of the man and say, look, what's underneath in the emotional department, in the psychological department, and do that kind of check up with yourself. Talk to a friend, again, as I've said, and that's just as important as going to the gym or going for a run or doing those kind of things, because mental health is a really key driver of not only men's violence against women and men's violence against other men, but also when we look at statistics like men's consumption of alcohol and substances, men's risky behaviours. Every day we hear about men driving recklessly on the road, or men committing some of these atrocities against other people and against themselves. Men's suicide rate is really, really high in comparison to women's. So I think mental health really is at the core of this conversation, and that as men we've got to open up this conversation to each other and say, look, it's okay to have, to experience a mental health issue, to have a down day, to say, actually, I need a day to just get my head straight, to go for a walk and think about things and be in touch with yourself in a way that then prevents you from doing something else that people do when they're angry or when they've got a mental health issue, and that's lash out, be violent, abuse your own body, those kind of things.
You've also triggered a conversation here, Tom. You are saying probably it's time for GBV to be declared, I don't know if you are calling it a national emergency or probably it's now a disaster or what. I want to get your thoughts on that. Is that going to help us deal with these issues?
So we at Gwaka and Votsa believe that gender-based violence should be declared a national emergency, yes, because if you look at the statistics of the people that it affects and you compare it to other national emergencies, you're on the same par. You're on the same level in terms of the number of women and children who die every year from violence, but also from the number of people that are indirectly and directly affected by lesser forms of violence. And they're whether they're thrown out of their house, whether they're the victims of physical violence or sexual violence, and whether it's reported or not. If you look at all of those statistics and you put them all together, then we're certainly on the par or on the sort of same level that would justify declaring violence, and especially men's violence against women, a national emergency. And by doing so, you then put a lot more attention on the issue. You then can put a lot more money and focus onto the issue. You can attract funds from elsewhere that might otherwise have been put into other things. And we can really start to make headway and have these conversations at a national and also at a home level, at a domestic level, to say why is this so prevalent in the country? Exactly.
I also think because now in the era of COVID has been included in the school's curriculum. I also probably it's high time we suggest that issues of GBV should also be in the school curriculum, so that the young ones, the men or young boys, can be taught how to treat a woman. Because in a relationship, men are not good communicators, and they communicate using their fists most of the time.
Exactly. And I strongly believe that when a man hits another man, that's gender-based violence as well.
And
not because
society thinks it's normal.
Society thinks it's normal. And when you see two boys fighting in the street, sometimes you even see people cheering or trying to support one side or another. But reality, that violence is stemming from an expectation of gender that says men should not only oppress women violently, but men should also dominate other men. Because if in order to be the leader of the pack, you've got to make sure that you're not only oppressing minorities and people who are more vulnerable than you, but also that you're making sure that your position is known amongst other men.
Now, you also started the Good Debt campaign, Babe Lokotfo. Talk to us about the progress on that one.
Yeah, Babe Lokotfo was started last year, and it's really been a flagship campaign for us over the last 12 months. We wanted to start something in the spirit in the times of COVID to say, look, men are locked down. Some men have lost their jobs. It's hard. It's stressful out there. We appreciate those things. But that doesn't mean that we can't focus inwardly in this time and say, how can I try and be the best father figure, the best family man I can be? We have huge amounts of men leaving the family unit through the separation or divorce. Maybe some men work away from home, or for work or for, they migrate or whatever. And they often leave the kids behind. And even when a man is present in that family unit, he's sometimes caught up with work and earning money, and he's not always there, to read or to do homework or to was. And studies show that when a father figure is present, it doesn't have to be a biological father, it could be just an uncle or father figure of some kind, adoptive father figure. When that person is present, that child does much better in their emotional development, and then that's going to continue all the way through their life. Just by doing something that we think maybe is really small, like saying, can I help your homework, or how was your day, tell me about school, are you feeling okay, should we go to the park? Sometimes as adults we forget how meaningful those things are to kids. And so last year we did a letter writing competition on Father's Day, and we're going to run the same competition again this year for young children to talk about their relationship with their fathers. And what we found last year was just incredible how perceptive and aware these kids are about their parents' roles and how it affects them in their life. So it's a really powerful campaign. We really love to do it. We've started lots of conversations. We were really privileged to be joined by Standard Bank last year, who ran with the whole campaign with us, and we hope again this year. So it's just starting those conversations at a household level to say, what is it that I can do at home that is more than just earning the money, and it's going to help my family, develop and thrive.
Right. In closing, Tom, I want your thoughts on this one. When a man cheats, society thinks it's normal. But when a woman cheats, they get abused. Sometimes they lose their lives. I want your thoughts on that one.
So again, shouldn't have so much of a position on people's interpersonal relationships and how many partners or how often. We know that having multiple concurrent partners is often bad for your health.
True.
And it can also lead to violence. We know that's proven. But again, when this idea that women must be chaste and adopt a single partner at any one time is a social issue, and we would encourage men to do the same thing. To be fair, because in general, men are happier when they are put in positions that are not so pressurized, like we said earlier. They don't have to lie. They don't have to support multiple different families and people, and so those kind of partnerships are. I would always advise guys to steer clear of them, and women to do the same thing.
Tom, thank you so much for coming through. We celebrate you. We wish you all the best 2021.
Thanks.
Bokose ngoTom Cheshat la besinaye emqinzisi kwakha indvo sasiteka ndzaba tekhulubeteka kwabobabe ngitsinza nje indaba ngehloko lodala indzaba lengicina ngayo yathi kumnasi lo sicingo lakho nje ekhaya likhale nje kube bedingo lethi ba silent likhale nje kungabi nankinga icela noma kana alibambe lecingo kudinga 2 minutes before 7 bongose but wait market esibele indzaba tesibili lo mhla kuseni. You are watching the Thursday edition of Kusile Breakfast Show. Good morning.
Sanibonani maswahla mahle, libito lami ngumthandazo Mkhonazi, and you are tuned into a brand new show on Eswatini TV called Street Quiz. Street Quiz is a show that is aimed at finding out just how well you know your beautiful country and just how well you travel. Now, the beautiful part about it, and that is my favorite part as well, is you get to win a special prize. Now that could just be money or a little something extra. As for me and my team, Nidanibona every week from here, just as long as you tune in and now wanna start Dingdong Balege.
Tutu, kacera nampana lo.
Babelo sezulwini ngisonzela kuwe ngosinana indodzana yami elula sandla sakho Nkosi uyiphilise egameni lika Jesu Kristu amen.
Wela ngomukele ndzabeni tesibili ihlalo mhla eksene ehlelweni Kusile breakfast show libito lami ngiLinkedIn Kule. Silo semhlaba ingonyama inkosi imswati wesithathu sithi ke inhlonipho nekhamba ngemisodo lesifanele kumele ke lokhu kungawalahlekeli emajaha. Ngonyama ithi inhlonipho kufanele ivakale naselulwimini lwawo emajaha. Ingonyama emhlaba iphefumule ngendvuna yemajaha acomendanyeni magagola ngesikhathi ke icitha libutfo lesifundza saseshiselweni.
Evekini leliphelile silo semhlaba inkosi emswati wesithathu sichithe libutho esigodlweni yenkabezweni. Imbube emhlaba yashiyela lacobetela kwensaya ukuthi abenge mahlahlandlela ekusekeleni tonke tinyathelo letithathwe live ekugwemeni kwanza kwemkhuhlane i-COVID-19. Imbube emhlaba seyichitheke libutho lesifundza seshiselweni lapha esigodlweni yembangweni. Emajaha ahlangene esigodlweni yembangweni yachithwa ingonyama emhlaba ngendvuna yemajaha aqumentanyeni magagula. Kulandzela ukuthi afike emaphethelweni nekuvuna kwamasimu ebukhosi eshiselweni. Emajaha agidze ingoma temgubho ingakawachithi ingonyama emhlaba kanti ilandzelwe yonke imigomo ebetempilo yokugwema kwanza kwemkhuhlane i-COVID-19. Silo semhlaba sincomela ibutho ngekusebenza ngekutimisela nangenhlonipho ngesikhathi liqhuba umsebenzi wobukhosi. Ingonyama emhlaba igcizelele indzaba yokuthi emajaha aqhubeke nekwanzisa tifundziso tekugoma kwanza kwalomkhuhlane. Kanti ke imbube emhlaba igcizelele inhlonipho emajaheni nasesiveni sonke nekuthi emajaha abeke inkulumo ngenhlonipho nangekuhlonipha timiso letibekiwe.
Majaha ingonyama ibonga kakhulu infisela indlela lenhle indlela lenhle majaha inhlonipho nanihamba nendleleni noma nifike emakhaya inhlonipho yinzala kufuna kufundziswane ngenhlonipho inhlonipho isuka ekhaya kumtali wakho ihambi emangweni ihambi esikhulwini umhambo kwemajaha besingathi tsina usinamhla ngemambo kude chifu kunesikhulu namhla sendihlanganise tonke letinto sikhulu kwasiye chifu sikhulu umntwana enkosi ngumntwana enkosi lobuka umango emajaha kangwane etenkosini kunetinduna tinduna bafana benkosi ndawutsatsa i-order etinduneni ningangenwa ngumoya yokuhamba utshelwa ngumuntu uzohamba weweta nje ungathi kawulathi itafula lakho la kumele ukhulume khona. Majaha lokumqoka ingwenyama yashumayela nkulumo yakho na ulijaha noma uliswati wani uyayilungiselela inhlonipho yayo uyihloniphise ulandzele tonke letingoni letifanele na uyihloniphise ulijaha. Kwesibili ubuke kuthi lela uyifaka khona le nkulumo itayithola inindzawo inhlonipho. Hloniphisa inkulumo yakho uqele ngendlela lefanele ufake inkulumo yakho ngesiswati ngendlela lefanele utawuphila ube lijaha. Ngakho-ke majaha ingwenyama ithi ingwenyama inipa liqembe lenamba ninesile ninona niqobetele nivimbele lomkhuhlane nangu lokuthiwa uyeda nawunonile uyawuvimbetela lomkhuhlane nawuphilile ulandzela umthetho wetempilo ungahambi nje uthi uhuka lapha nalapha nalapha ufake isifonyo.
Umsebenzi wobukhosi utawuchubekela etigodini letimbili telive letisele lokusigodi saselibonjeni nesigodi sakahoho lacwebetelako nakhona lapho-ke abhekeke ukuthi achubeke nekuthobela yonke imithetho ebetempilo yekugwema kwanza kwalomkhuhlane. Lobika kwendzabeni ngisandile Makhanya naThemba Mamba esigodleni embangweni yesifundeni saseshiselweni.
Losabambe kuba ngundvunankhulu umhlonishwa Themba Masuku itelo-ke umukele umlayeto lo wengwenyama lovela-ke kumengameli welive le-DRC Felix Tshisekedi kanti-ke wethulwe ngundvunankhulu walela live Jean Michel Lukonde esikhumulweni setindiza iKing Mswati III International Airport. Kutsenga titfuba tensimbi yesithathu yatheleka indiza la esikhumulweni setindiza iKing Mswati III International Airport letfeleke Ndvunankhulu welive le-Democratic Republic of Congo lo-ke Eswatini ngekuthunywa ngumengameli welive le-Congo Mnumzane Philip Tshisekedi. Kanti-ke ulethe umlayeto wemakhosi lochamuka-ke kuye emengameli kanti ubheke ukuthi ngulosabambe kuba ngundvunankhulu eveni umhlonishwa Themba Masuku akanye nendvuna yetangephandle Kusile Dladla.
We came and with a message from the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Mr. Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, and he sent an official letter containing a message to His Majesty Mswati III, and it's an honor for me to come and deliver it. Through you, the document that was sent to His Majesty.
We hope your travel has been very safe. We'll present the special message to His Majesty this evening.
Ngakulokunye losabambe kuba ngundvunankhulu umhlonishwa Themba Masuku kulile live le-DRC ngesehlakalo sevolcano lecubuke khona kulela live imiti leminingi labaningi bababede emakhaya nalabanye-ke base bashiya emhlabeni.
Volcano is one of those very frightful natural disasters, and it's coming at a time when we are also experiencing in the whole world issue of COVID-19. Wish you the best going forward.
And it's even more difficult because we had to ask about 400 people to get out of their home and go to safer places, but now the situation is getting better.
Njengoba-ke asuka lumuhla eveni ubhekisa-ke mabombe eveni leZimbabwe uyawufika naseveni leMalawi kanti-ke lihambo lakhe kuthiwa liyawuphelela eveni le-Tanzania eDar es Salaam le nakhona uhambisa nje umlayeto lochamuka kumengameli Philip Tshisekedi kubalingani bakhe. Ndizabende Eswatini TV ngiLinkedIn kule ngavuse Mpamali sise M3. Induna litiko letevakasha Moses Vilakathi ithi ke ilive leSwatini eminyakeni lotako likhethwe iAfrika kusike libamba umcimbi lotangenelwa cishe ngayo onke amavasi eAfrika lapho kade ashengetisa khona nemasiko awo. Induna ithi induna ivetelo ngesikhathi ke imukela sihlalo weboard yemavasi eAfrika Ndizabende tekuvakasha iAfrican Tourism Cuthbert Ncube.
Indvuna yelitiko letekuvakasha Moses Vilakathi ithi inhlangothi tetekuvakasha kanye nalelo letekulima live lithambise embili kufubuleni umnotfo akuleli. Indvuna Vilakathi kusho lokho ngesikhathi imukela sihlalo welibhodi lemavasi eAfrika elihlanganisini letekuvakasha Cuthbert Ncube ehotela leHilton. Vilakathi uvakalise kujabula ngekuthi lakuleli eminyakeni lotako litawubamba umcimbi lotangenelwa amave onke elivekati leAfrika.
Almost on a monthly basis or weekly basis they now meet and they're discussing how they will make sure that Eswatini enjoys the cultures of Africa. We're trying now to merge most of our wildlife parks so that if a tourist comes in there, he will now be able to see all the animals at a go. We have about 4 or 5 of those facilities in the eastern part of the country, and once they are merged, we will be talking of about over 100,000, close to 100,000 hectares.
Sihlalo webhodi yemave eAfrika yetekuvakasha Cuthbert Ncube ubonga indvuna yelitiko letekuvakasha Moses Vilakathi ngenzima la idlalile ekuthuthukiseni tekuvakasha kuleli kanye naseveni leAfrika.
We have played a very pivotal role, a very critical role, not only for Eswatini, but for the whole of the African continent. We are so proud to be associated to this great nation of Eswatini Kingdom. As African Tourism Board, our mandate and our advocacy is to make sure that we align and start appreciating Africa as the tourist destination of choice. We have said we need to rebrand our continent. If there was a time where we need to rewrite,
Umphathi welibandla letekuvakasha kuleli Eswatini Tourism Authority Linda Nxumalo uthi emave eAfrika sekathatha isinqumo sekuthi emahhovisi etekuvakasha eAfrika atakwakhiwa kuleli. Nxumalo uthi lakuleli litawuzuza kakhulu ngalokwakhiwa kwalamahhovisi. Ndizabende Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngisembabane.
Ugcina ufika ke itolo umjovo wekuvikela umkhuhlane iCovid-19 waka AstraZeneca lamathonsi lang 14,400 laphuma ke enhlanganweni yaka Covas atheleke ngethuba tasekuseni esikhumuleni setindiza iKing Mswati III International Airport. Embikweni ke betindzaba lokhishwe ngalesibili indvuna yetempilo lezinkosi izona ichazile ukuthi lo mjovo utawusebenza esebentini tetempilo ukuthi titholeke lithonsi lesibili lese batalithola lithonsi lekuqala kanti ke bese sifikile lithuba lekuthi ke bathola lithonsi lesibili. Induna ke ivetile ukuthi lembolo tabo tikhomba ukuthi titingulungwane timfica namakhulu lamane 9400 tisebente tempilo letathola ke lithonsi lekuqala lemjovo yeCovid-19 waka AstraZeneca. Induna ke iphinze yachaza ukuthi lithuba letawuphinze liniketwe tona tisebente tempilo letakhetha kungajove esigabeni sekuqala kanti nyalo litawuthola lithonsi lekuqala. Iqhubeka yachaza ukuthi nasebacedzile nge7 tempilo lamathonsi latawusala atawuniketwa sive lesekufika isikhathi ukuthi ke sithole lithuba lithonsi lesibili. Kanti ke litiko liyaqhubeka nekusebenta indzaba ukuthi lileseke amathonsi la nguhafu wesigidi laphuma khona enkampaneni yaka Oxford AstraZeneca. Hulumende sokhiphe umbiko betindzaba ukuthi ke induna yetemabhizinisi manqoba khumalo nenduna yetindzaba tebantu labasha bahlangene nalabo labamelele ihlangosi temakhono namasiko kubachazela ngetinyathelo ezisethwe nguhulumende ngekwenda kusuthiwa lekuthiwa ke iCopyright Act wa 2020.
Lo mhlangano bewuholwa indvuna yetemabhizinisi Manxeba Khumalo kanye nendvuna yetindzaba tebantfulabasha Harris Bulunga. Kulo mhlangano tindvuna totimbili tibikele labo labamelele luhlangothi lwetemakhono namasiko ngetinyathelo lesetitsetfwe kutsi umtsetfo weCopyright Act sala uqala kusebenta. Itindvuna tivetile kutsi sekucashwa umuntfu etiko letemabhizinisi lotawusebenta lendzaba endesiciniseko kutsi lo mtsetfo uyacala kusebenta masinyane. Tindvuna tiphindze taveta kutsi imigo lesakhiwa seyicethiwe kwakhiwa futhi itawuniketwa labo labathintekako kungakapheli inyanga lesetulu. Lo mhlangano indvuna Manxeba Khumalo ithe iyajabula ukuthi igcine ihlangene nalabo labamelele lolu hlangothi. Ubaqinisekisile ukuthi le ndzaba abatawuyisebentela itulu bayitsingise emhlanganweni naletinye tindvuna tembuso emahhovisini ato nanome kube netinkinga phambilini. Indvuna Harris Bulunga ithe kumgcoka ukuthi bemakhono sale batfola inzunzo yemsebenzi yabo. Ithi iyajabula ngetinyathelo lesetithethwe kule ndzaba. Etindzabeni biyalungelela Magagula eMbabane.
Emalunga lekomiti libukeka kusebenta kwemali yembuso eParliament afuna kwathi ukuthi bendiwa kanjani bagcini mabhuku bahulumende labaphambathisa timali nabenda ngomsebenzi wabo. Lokho kulandzela ukuthi kuphambane timali letinye ke tisebente ngendlela lengekho emthethweni lokuthola ngumhloli mabhuku lomkhulu wahulumende etiko letangaphandle.
Nalivele phambi kwelibandla lelibuke kusebenta kwetimali tembuso iPAC litiko letangaphandle libutiwe ngendzaba yebagcini mabhuku bahulumende laba lisebentelako labaphambanisa timali. Letinye taletimali kutsiwa tiphuma tiyowenta umsebenzi longakafanele kutsi tiwende.
So I think maybe umuntu longenza umsebenzi wakhe mhlambe nimbuyisele training abe more vigilant and abe more responsible.
It appears ematiko still do not have indlela ye-performance management system in the form of performance appraisals. Sithena sifika la sakhala ngaleyo system. I-public service yasithembisa ukuthi iku-pipeline. And without lama instruments la njengaleyo, it is very, very difficult ukuthi bantu bakhone kumonitoreka nokuthi babe held responsible for ema mistakes labawendako.
Mapalani lomkhulu kuleli tiko Melus Masuku uthi basayisebenta lendzaba kepha na kutawulunga masinyane.
Ema records akamane agcineke ngendlela yakhona. Njengoba waveta kunalabo inward book, invoice register, stores ledger lokuthi phela tilandeleke letinza balethi nalama stores regulations. Kwethu ungathi sitawuqhubeka simonitor indzaba le kusho ukuthi kulesikhathi esikwendile lokho siyatibona letinto tiyabuya sewathola ama-monthly management accounts ayavela abuye siwewedele kuye longanga accountant general kukhombisa lokuthi le misebenzi lena ihamba ngendlela yakhona.
Umgcini mabhuku lomkhulu wahulumende naye uqinisekisile ukuthi sekukhona lesebavele bakwenda lokufaka ekhatsi kucecesha abagcini mabhuku bahulumende kuqinisekisa ukuthi timali tembuso tisebenta ngendlela lefanele nokuthi tibhalwa ngendlela lefanele. Ndzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela eParliament.
Hulumende olive leSwatini sosukumise uhlelo lwekubuyisa indlela yekusebenta ngalokuqaqile indzaba iqinisekisa ukuthi impahla yahulumende isebenzisa kahle ehlangothini lekutshalwa kwetimali. Lokho kuvetwe ngulobambe kuba indvuna yemisebenzi lemkhulu nekuthutha Manxeba Khumalo.
Lolu hlelo luqukethe ukusebenzisana lokugcinile nalabo labasebenzisana nahulumende. Indvuna Khumalo ithi sive siyacelwa ukuthi sibabambise kulomsebenzi futhi baqaphelisise nalabo labasebenzisa abadlabhatise impahla yahulumende ngalokungekho emthethweni. Khumalo uthi kumgcoka kakhulu ukunakekela impahla yahulumende. Indvuna ithi hulumende uyabonga isiveni seMaswati lesolo sibabambisa ngekuletha imibiko yalabo labasebenzisa kabi impahla yahulumende. Khumalo uthi le mibiko iyakhathata kakhulu ngako hulumende uyasigceka lesento salokudlabhatiseka kwempahla yahulumende lokwendiwa tisebenti tembuso ikakhulu kulesikhathi lapho kumele ngabe kunakekelwa kakhulu khona tintfo letfa ekhatsi tekutfutsa takhiwo timotolo imishina nalokunye lokusita kusebenta kahle kwesive. Khumalo uqhubeke wagcizelela ukuthi tisebenti tembuso tiyacelwa ukuthi tigweme kudlabhatisa lempahla lekhona yahulumende kepha isetjenziselwe lokho lokufanele ngesikhathi lesifanele hayi etinveni letingatsinzi hulumende. Indvuna Khumalo iyacela ukuthi labo hulumende lasebenzisana nabo kuhulumende baqhubeke bathathe tinyathelo leticatha kulabo labaphambana nemthetho kude kunqobeke lokuganga. Sive siyacelwa ukuthi sibike lonke lihlobo lokudlabatiswa kwempahla yahulumende kanti sive singashaya enombolweni lethi 76062697 noma ku24099 Lesitatimende sikhishwa ngilobambe kuba indvuna yemisebenzi lemkhulu nekutfutsa Mancoba Khumalo. Etindzabeni kubika zodwa Dlamini eMbabane.
Sihlalo inhlangano iphilani Maswati Lutho Dlamini uthi ke kungakaphelile inyanga lesetulu inhlangano iphilani Maswati itawuphinze isukumise umkhankaso wokunikela sikotela i-Donate a Can campaign. Dlamini uthi lokudla lokunikelwako kwenta komehluko lomkhulu etimpilweni tabantu labadzala labadzingile.
Umkhankaso we-Donate a Can wasukunyiswa ngemnyaka wa 2019. Lomkhankaso ngololunye luhlelo lwenhlangano iphilani Maswati lokucokelela imali yenhlalakahle yabogogo nabomkhulu labadzingile. Iphilani ibambisene netitolo takaSpa Evan Longhe. Sihlalo wenhlangano iphilani Lutho Dlamini uthi lo mkhankaso sowubuyile lo nyaka kanti sive siyacucutelwa ukuthi sithenge kudla etitolo takaSpa ikakhulu lokho lokungaboli bese sikufaka esikoteleni lesikhulu lesibhalwe Donate a Can. Uthi lo msebenzi utawusukunyiswa ngokusemthethweni kungakapheli lenyanga lesetulu.
Campaign yetikotela kudla lokusikoteleni collect a can yasihambela kahle eminyakeni lophelile nanyalo sibona lokusisa lesiqala sheshe siqale kakhulu noma vele kunaleti inkinga sitawusebenzisa letitolo besisebenzisa kuqala bavumile kusibambisa sitawuthola ke naletinye njengaloko ezisiqhubeka khona labafuna kusibambisa. Umuntu angacela nje Maswati njalo sisiqale kuthi noma ungasaliboni leligcomo ungaya kuleso sitolo usho ukuthi ngicela kushiya nawo nayo grocer leso sikotela sinye stasita kulenkinga lesibhekene nayo. So masinyane nje sizabe suphakamisa ngalokho semthethweni esichaze naletitolo kepha nje banikati betitolo labasala kucala bangasithinta sitokwathi sinabo sibafake kuloluhla sisi.
Uthi lo msebenzi lona umcoka ngoba lokudla lokunikelwe kutawusita abantu labadzala labadzingile kakhulu ngoba kubukeka ungathi umcimbi lomkhulu wekosa iBiggest Pride angeke ube khona nalonyaka ngesizathu semibiko yekuta kwesigaba sesithathu semkhuhlane iCovid-19. Uthi lo mcimbi wekosabo uyisita kakhulu lenhlangano ngetimali ebetiyaye tikolekwe bese tisita labamfu labadzala. Etindzabeni kubika longelele makakula nambongwa Dube eMbabane.
Libandla lolukhetho nemingcele elihlangeneke nalabo labaphumelele olukhethweni lencane lokuvala tikhala kubobuchopho lunathi inkundla kanye nemalunga eParliament esifundeni sesishelweni lebelibanje kulempela sondvo lephelile. Umphathi Richard Phungwane walolu libandla uthi injongo yalo msebenzi kufundzisa labo labaphumelele ngemithetho lekumele bayilandzele uma basakhankasa.
Kulandzela lukhetfo loluncane lobe lumhlati sihlanu kule nyanga lesetulu lapho khona inkundla yaseshiselweni 1 beyivotela labangenele lukhetfo lekuba lilunga leParliament. Emathanjeni South khona benele kuba indvuna yenkundla. Libandla letelukhetfo nemingcele selihlangene nalabaphumelele ngemsebenzi wekubafundzisa ngemithetho yekukhankasa njengoba sekubhekeke ukuthi baqale bakhankase. Umphathi welibandla letelukhetfo nemingcele Richard Phungwayo uthi labakugcizelelako kulomhlangano ukuthi laba lesebaphumelele abanganyathelani basakhankasa.
Umsebenzi wachubeka kahle wekunene ma primary elections sesinema candidates nje lamele kuba ngebo bahlonishwa nangabantu awuphumelela emsebenzini lesiya kuwo mhla ka 3 July welukhetho olukhulu. Kuyindzaba lenkulu ke le yekuthi ama candidates nibonisane ukuthi lo msebenzi wokucutselana ku-computer neku-campaigner usetshenzwa njani. Kuyaye kwendeke kucabanga ukuthi abantu batayibona nje bayende bona bese kuyonakala lokunyenti. Namhlanje batofundiswa ikakhulu ukuthi lo msebenzi we-campaigner uyini nekuthi ke futhi kufuna bathi phathe njani code of conduct yawo emancunywa ethu noma ke ngathi ama candidates ethu ekubahlonishwa. Lokho kuyasisita ukuthi ngoba ukhanze ukuthi abantu abati bathi basasebenza kona lokungiko akhanze ukuthi omunye umuntu so uthi campaigner labanye ngekusebenza kwakhe noma so bakhuluma kabi noma so uhliphita ema campaigns alabanye. Kungakho nje sitofundisela lokho ukuthi bekunene yini lekufanele sitendeke yini lefanele kungendeki ukuze umuntu le likhetho lethu ile competition ibe ngile free and fair kube bethela basebese balimatela kanye kulokulapha kwendaba.
Phungwayo uthi basikhombisa labaphumelele elukhethweni loluncane enkundleni yaseshiselweni 1 lapho khona labasithupha besilisa bese munye ungumake. Kanzi enkundleni yasemathanjeni South khona basithupha besilisa 4 bomake bona 2. Etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV kubika Sifiso Nxumalo ngena Smova Shongwe sisenhlangano.
Inhlangano lesambulelo sethi inhlangano temabandla Eswatini Church Forum ihlanganeke nematiko ahulumende lapho ke kubukisona khona ukuthi bangabe bambisana njani kuniketeni civil sito etindzaweni lapho letinhlangano disebenzela khona.
Lamatiko lahlanganyela lenhlangano lesambulelo lemasonto iEswatini Church Forum litiko letisebenti embuso kanye naleyo lasekhaya. Lobu ukuthi inhlelo ka-Church Forum Xolani Magongo uchaza kabanti ngalomhlangano.
Sifisa ukuthi nahulumende naye kube neligalelo lalendaba nako lasiconze khona lokho ukuthi njengoba leti inhlangano tenkolo tisebenta tidzinga kusekelwa, tidzinga imali kulokulethi kwendako, tidzinga itindlo tekusebenta, timoto, tisebendi nani lokutawenda ukuthi bantu bakhone kusebenta lelivangeli lihambe lifike emabandleni kwendeke lokhu lempilo lechichimako ibonakale emasontweni ichubeka.
Mabhalane omkhulu etiko letisebenti embuso Siphethabethe akhuluma ngeliphimbo lamabhalane lomncane kuleli tiko Constance Vilakati uncoma libandla ngemsebenzi lomhle lelwenta kwesiveni.
Sing government kuyasita lokuthi nasithi bambisane nale Church Forum ngaba ngiyo yona lenzaba yekulwa nale HIV and AIDS.
Lisekela lamabhanela omkhulu etiko letasekhaya kuleko Dlamini beyakatsamelele ngilobukela uhlangothi letisebenti kuleli tiko bekikhaya Dlamini.
Kumandate yethu ukuthi siregulator wona emasondo sijabulela ukuthi aqhamuke nawo asanayo iforum lesho ukuthi nathi esigabeni sekuthusa ukuthi siyawa regulator sesiyakhona ukuthi sibathole ukubambisana kwethu kwaHulumende nawo emasondo kubakhanze nabo sebanavilinye kungabe ngathi uHulumende sokuphuma ugijima nabo bonke naseba sebetane leli sigadla siyakhona nathi ukuthi kube lula lokubambisana ngakulolo hlangothi.
Lokunye lokubukiwe kulomhlangano ukuthi uHulumende angadlala yipi inzima emsebentini lento walibandla emimangweni yetindzabente Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla kunamsimisi Lishaba Sembabane.
Iyaqala ke imidlalo ye-Euro 2020 elangeni lakusasa ngensimbi yemfica kanti babukeli bemsakade eSwatini TV batawuthokoza ukuthi batakhona kuyibukela le midlalo. Echimbanisa lo msakade nesave nempumelelo Dlamini uthi ke babukeli batakhona ukuthi bayibukele le midlalo etingcingweni tabo basebenzisa iCast ebuchwephesha lalo msakade.
Kusukela kwelesihlanu kwaliviki lelisetulo the 11th of June kuze kuyofika the 11th of July sibe sinilethela wona umdlalo webhola lewatiwa ngokuthi Euro 2020 lokusho ukuthi sitawube sinilethela lena midlalo nayendeka which means they'll be live as of the 11th of June to the 11th of July 2020 kanti ke umbukeli siyafisa kumatisa ukuthi akusidingo lesingako ukuthi umuntu aphuthume ngasekhaya makafuna kubona lena midlalo njengoba phela siyakhona nokukulethela kwemahlale ekhukhwini wakho kuyo iEswatini TV app le downloadeka ku Google Play Store nangabe bowusete mbukeli nalithuba lakho awufuni kuphuthelwa yimidlalo lemkhulu njengalena njengoba phela kutabe kunemavela afaka ekhathi France, Germany, England nePortugal. Nasi sithuba sakho kwembukeli ukuthi nawe ungathokotiswa ngulena midlalo hayi nje na usekhaya kuphela nakumahlale ekhukhwini wakho utawukhona uyibona.
Ngosikade tetemidlalo sitibambe lapha kendzaba desibili lebekade kugcina namhla ekuseni ehlelweni Kusile breakfast show sibathele emarket nasibuya sibuya naye nomphumelelo la start iteka nje indzaba te-Euro nesidingatibukela njani kulabo mahlale ekhukhwini kule app ye-Eswatini TV. Bongosi sibathele emarket siyabuya nihle.
Sanbonan Masatla Mahle, Libito Lame, Ngumtana Zomkonazi, and you are tuned into a brand new show on Eswatini TV called Street Quiz. Street Quiz is a show that is aimed at finding out just how well you know your beautiful country and just how well you travel. Now, the beautiful part about it, and that is my favorite part as well, is you get to win a special prize. Now that could just be money or a little something extra. As for me and my team, we Danibona every week from here just as long as you tune in and now wanna start Dingdong Balege.
Tutu, ukachera ngempana lo. Babelo sezulwini ngisonzela kuwe ngosinana indodzana yami elula sandla sakho Nkosi uyiphilise egameni lika Jesu Kristu amen.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Man, who pays for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Sanmanan, my name is Eswatini.
It's your boy DJ Sunday, aka DEZ. Catch me and the gang on a brand new show.
Amazing show. I'm so excited about first episode.
Hot new show for Studio One.
As you guys know, we do cover all things music and entertainment. We're going to be doing the news aspect specifically. So our news is divided into two segments, into international news and then local news.
I'm going to be on the cozy couch, hosting all the guests that we have on the show. Thanks for joining me on the cozy couch. Your performance, how did you feel about that? I loved it.
Honestly, I was ecstatic.
I'll be dealing with the hottest videos for the week. At number 1, we have Tenderness featuring Willem Seni for Love Me.
We have the same boat. He's moving with the both of us.
It's Dana.
Number 1 DJ in Africa.
See you every Saturday at 6 p.m.
on Eswatini TV.
Studio 1.
Studio 1.
Studio 1.
Because 25 minutes before 8 sithatha sigaba sekugcina ke salohlelo lomhla ekseni njoba soloniva indzaba yetindzaben la indzaba yemidlalo lemikhulu yase Europe lekuthiwa ngema Euro bekufuna dlalo nga 2020 kepha ke yasa qhubekisela ke embili ngenzaba lo mkhuhlane weCovid-19 ayaqala ke langeni lakusasa ngensimbi yemfica umdlalo nje weqala iqembu leItaly litabedlala neTurkey sinalo xhumanisa ke umsakazo Eswatini TV naso sive lana umpumelelo Dlamini Bonkosi ya ngoba namhlanje suku labo make bemthandazo ngisolo walapha ewesele ya ngivele nje ngikusho lokho ngoba ubebe kahlabela a rapper bebetawusiwa ya uyarap uyathandaza Bonkosi ya nompumelelo unjani
angikubingelele LinkedIn ngiphinze ngivusele nembukeli emakhaya angingedi noko ngeke emthandazo ngithenga lokwendiwa stage namuhla lemthandazo sitayibona nzambamba
ngicabanga ukuthi inzaba lemnanzi kakhulu nompumelelo inzaba because qiniso lekuphila lisivele baningi abantu abathanza ibhola na live ngicabanga kube inzaba letimnanzi nasi siyabuka nasi kuma social networks babukele bayajabulela inzaba ukuthi they be able to watch live imidlalo emayo
kunjalo LinkedIn singumsakazo Eswatini TV sibone kokuhle ukuthi silethe lemidlalo nathi ibe live ikakhulu kade ngoba so many people are in love with soccer you know kodwa ke liqiniso LinkedIn lithi lemidlalo idulile kakhulu makungathiwa nje sisakata the whole thing kufana nekuthi singakho umgwaqo wale live lonke so kumbumbukeli utawudibuta ukuthi how niqala from the 11th kuyofika ku the 11th of June to the 11th of July and you're not bringing some games leni ngizama ukugcizelela kona ukuthi these are very expensive games to air and in this region not every broadcaster will be able to bring these games live you know but lokuhle ngiloko ukuthi sikhethele imidlalo lemcoka lemidlalo lemikhulu lefaka ekhathi kumbe ema games abo Germany Italy France Portugal you know those kuma quarter finals njeke ikhonyana lesitayikhetha but ema semi finals wona atabe akhona onke you know and kuletha kwethu ke LinkedIn singumsakazo lokuhle ngiloko ukuthi siyathi ukuthi round about the season as well wonke umuntu emakhaya incumba yacabana ngenxa yebhola sekubanga remote lokuhle ke ukuthi Eswatini TV yabambisana na MTN so asisinike lithuba lokuthi sikhone kubona lokwendekako kumabona kude edincingweni tethu so lithuba leli laloyo naloyo lofise ukuthi ungifisile kubona lemidlalo manje ekhaya ngiyadi ukuthi lo ma kuhlanga funa remote ya
Queen
yes tabe kubukelwa about the Queen nani you know but ke ungakhona ukuthi nawe uthi download the app on your mobile phone and catch the games live.
Zaba ke letimnanzi Bonkosi lestivako ekuseneni sayikhona kuyibona lemidlalo nje angisindalo ngiyakhumbula ukuthi ngakuva vele kusasa nje first game is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Sitabe si live thina we bringing it live to the viewers of course kanjalo nakumahlale ekhukhwini wakho so lokwendeka ku TV yakho tabe kwendeka nakumahlale ekhukhwini wakho ngaleso sikhathi Nembala Bonkosi ngiyayigcizelela nami ngiyamvumela nakade kalenzaba ekuthenini imidlalo lena ukhanze sinaba kwenda le nto vele bakwenda kubeke ama package
yes
kunale package kunale sobuka ke the best package for le dungela probably batayithanza nebabukeli bakho ngicabanga ukuthi package lenhle nje le nguvile wabala Marvelous takhona siwabona nguvile nje France ikhona nami ngiyayithanza iFrance baningi lalatayi bayithanza iFrance uPortugal ungawakhuthatha vele babukele ukuthenini abahlale nje bangasasuki kulomsakazo
ngingumbukeli nje mina ngingakhuthatha ukuthi bangasahluka nje naneSwazi TV SABC wana ngeke abalethele lemidlalo nangabe utabalethele utabathethe ku SuperSport you know but thine sinikete babukeli bethu ukuthi babe naso sithuba sekuthi babukele we acknowledge again LinkedIn ngokuthi letinye tindzawo sikujana unenkinga akabambi kahle.
True.
This is why sikhuthatha kwekuthi you can just download the app on your phone and you will have the chance to watch these games and catch them live as well.
Kusita ngani vele nje nempumelelo lo ukuthi nakunemidlalo lenjengale ngiyakhumbula ukuthi khona la kulomsakazo bese babukela abo English Premiership abantu bakujabulela lo ukuthi nanga lama big tournaments nisikhethele ningumsakazo lama games lawa ekutheni nasi sicosha singasalele emuva. Ngaba ukuthi it's something le ngibonile labanye bakucomment akuthenini bebana inhloko bona singabe ngidayibukela le euro.
Yes.
Here's an opportunity.
Lithuba leli LinkedIn ngokuthi ngulona lo yombukeli umbe kabathanzi bebhola bangasalele emuva because this is a very very big tournament. We are where kubukhulu bayo ubona ngokuthi it was postponed from last year because of COVID to this year you know so kwethu ukuthi simane sijabulise umbukeli wa Eswatini TV athole lithuba lokuthi naye akhone kungasaleli emuva atawati lokwendekako internationally.
Exactly. Ngifuna ngena ke kunalomunye umsebenzi lokuqhubeka konje oba ku20 minutes before 8. Siniboneni Vetani nabo presenter. Sema nje kwalo utawuhlala lana nasemthweni ngisale ngisuka mina uhamba njani umsebenzi lo?
Kuhamba kahle kakhulu LinkedIn. We had almost 300, my plus minus 300 applicants, because utawukhumbula ukuthi sasithi umuntu makasenda i-audition yakhe utasendela just a video which is a minute long of whichever program that you would like to present. Bowulingisa kumbe kube khona LinkedIn, nami ngidibonile nje abantu bazama kuba ngimi ngibathi hey bekunene, you know, naku ngiphelelwa ngumsebenzi. But of course utawadwa na LinkedIn ngokuthi we are phasing out all the old faces abo presenter lesinabo. So sizama ukuthola abantu nguvile nje LinkedIn ukhala nethi usebenza kakhulu ubuye nga 9 ekseni nga 5 you were here. So kuzama kwelekelela nakuloko LinkedIn. This is why we're looking for new faces. But of course masifuna abo presenter, we're looking at so many things. We're looking at creativity, we're looking at originality, we're looking at interaction skills alo muntu. Uyati ke yona LinkedIn ulakhaya ukuthi makuthiwa kumbe ngiyabekisa uku KPS ngendeka sikushayele futhi sithi hey nompumelelo uphathekile kude lo tasendela buhle bethu siyakuphika kuphi. So we're looking for someone that's going to be an all-rounder.
Exactly.
So those that sent through their videos and their clips were much amused, but of course we're looking for a certain number. We only were able to have about 50 come in for the actual auditions, where we're looking at different things. Lapho bese kangalingisi LinkedIn ngiyabekisa bese simfaka etinhlelweni letiningana kubona ukuthi which one would you fit in. So leso sigaba we just had those auditions. Unfortunately LinkedIn, because we cannot have sieve vote kumbe sibe nembono wesive ukuthi bafuna bani info lesitayenda internally. Lesitawukwenda lokungachisheke chaze umbukeli ekhaya ngoba asifuni kusasa bathi nompumelelo walanza siswakhe lomncane ekhaya ahle. Lesitawukwenda ukuthi we're going to package those auditions as well and make them to be a program.
Okay.
We're going to make a program out of it. Ngiyabekisa sincane sema idols. We're also going to have a wooden mic session la stawubona khona kuthi hey akangeni njani mehle mamba la, you know. So we will have that and soon. But nje si kuleso sigaba LinkedIn we gonna chiyana ngemtshefezo kubi. Asati uthi sitawuthatha abantu shiye bani, so it's still going to get a bit tighter.
Okay.
Yes.
Ngiyayiva lenza beteko kungabukakala kulabanye ukuthi probably it's glamorous what but nje le level leline unemployment lesetulu kakhulu about young people. So this is an opportunity for young people labanye ukuthi bathole umsebenzi. Ngicabanga ukuthi ne stage naso sidlala enzima yaso kulwa nekungasebenzi kwabamlabasha la.
Kunjalo LinkedIn sithi masibuka lokho siphinze sibuke ikakhulukati LinkedIn ngokuthi kuba ngumthuli welihlelo noma kukhuluma nebantu kuhambelana nelikhono.
Exactly.
So kwethu kukhuthata bantu labasha ukuthi nasi sifuba sakho sokuthi usebenzise likhono lakho. Some people came in for the audition not necessarily because balingise nompumelelo noma LinkedIn kahle, but lomunye came up with a concept because that's also what we're looking for. We're looking for creativity. Lomunye nje utakhele lakhe lihlelo.
Okay.
You know, a number of them actually. Lomnye nje uqhamuke nje nelihlelo lokuthi utabaxoxisana nemajaha lamadzala etihonqweni looking at different things from a different perspective. Kuna kulesikubuka kothini lomunye waba neyakhe concept yekuthi yena ufise kuba nelihlelo lelibukete bomake lesibabona ngathi basembili empilweni batimele batisimele. You know, they are out there. So labanye bangeniswe ngiloko ukuthi we liked the concept, but let's see if you will fit with what we have in the organization as well. Njengoba utawata na LinkedIn ngokuthi asisakati njenga labanye kumbe balingani bethu kwethu la khaya presenter wala khaya uyambona yehluka kunalomunye kumbe ngiyabekisa loka Channel S. There's a difference.
Exactly. Ngoba singinomphumelelo Dlamini kumanisa ke stage Eswatini TV neSive. Ungabona singiget naye lana nje I don't get that much time. Sekusingikhulume naye probably ngixoxe naye. So nase ngithole nje lithuba khona nomputela ngifuna kumbuta wona. Ngiyangase ngiyahamba ngiyandlula kulenye corridor ngakuva uhleba alinye colleague uhleba yenza ba uthi uyafisa ukuthi ngalenye ilanga sitake nje sibe nesikhathi ngesiphakamisa insimbi amasente ama aerobics namashaya ama push ups khamba njani kanti sinako yena.
Yes, kunjalo LinkedIn, that is also in the pipeline. Uyakhumbula ukuthi we are celebrating what we know as Wellness Week this week. So namuhla nje ngidawukhuthata LinkedIn ukuthi ute nesikhindi sakho neskipa sakho simane sithi kushukumisa umtimba kancane la ngephandle. From that then we're going to go on emalangeni letako we're looking at such a program kuba nayo nathi la khaya njengaletinye tinkampani ukuthi we also would like to have a wellness club. You know, we won't only just end with us having aerobics. We also want to have aerobathons. We also want to have hiking, and we also want to go hiking. But of course, akusuke la khaya. Leni LinkedIn inqumbi emagym nasubuka nyalo asekede ema aerobics kangako kanzi now tawubuka kumbe ucocisana nabodokotela lebe balapha abantu kulesipho sekho kule sifo COVID I'm sorry linengi la lebantu labehlulekile kuphila bekungukuthi emaphaphu abo akadayeli kuhlukumedeka. So those that survived incumbi yabo it was because I am fit enough to carry this emaphaphu akudayele kuhlukumedeka. So sibuka ukuthi nathi singumsakazo yeLinkedIn asibambisane naye uhulumende sathi ukuthi kuqala kuphila kwemuntu ukuthi akhona eLinkedIn kusebenza asicale kushukumeni. Wellness starts from the mind.
Yeah, yabo nje lokungena nga5 la kufanele bese sinangiphuma ngejimini ngiphinze ngibuye kahle
ngabe nginawe la ngephandle futhi atoba holwa ngimi
futhi sinathi gaqagaqa la khaya ngoba angivele nje ngikusho sikhona gaqagaqa la ihamba gym sebantu lengaphandle bo touch uFabrice gaqagaqa
sibe sina touch ke licobo lwakhe asishukumisa la ngephandle LinkedIn.
Impumelelo siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi ube nasi namhle kuseni sethemba sibabukele bathakuthokoda bongo siyaqala imidlalo kusasa ngensimbi emfika nje libandla letemidlalo ngicabanga sitabe vele selikhona probably bo past 8 letha le mdlalo yokuqala iItaly itabishana nelevel laseTurkey. Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi ube nasi namhle.
Ngibonga mina LinkedIn ngibonga nakwembukela ekhaya.
It is 13 minutes before bongo sesibahlola ke imarket style le market ngisafuna ukuthola ukuthi njoba phela bekuyintombi yesiphika le kusesengiyo yina sibahlola imarket ngosi siyabuya.
Sanibonani maswahla mahle libito lami ngumthandazo mkhonazi and you are tuned into a brand new show on Eswatini TV called Street Quiz. Street Quiz is a show that is aimed at finding out just how well you know your beautiful country and just how well you travel. Now, the beautiful part about it, and that is my favorite part as well, is you get to win a special prize. Now that could just be money or a little something extra. As for me and my team, Nidanibona every week from here just as long as you tune in and now wanna start Dingdong Balege.
Tutu, kacera nampana lo.
Babelo sezulwini ngisonzela kuwe ngosinana indodzana yami elula sandla sakho Nkosi uyiphilise egameni lika Jesu Kristu amen.
Bongo siyaqhubeka nalo hlelo ngo 10 minutes before 8 njoba nasingena ehlelweni sibikele indzaba la ukuthi itolo induna Mancoba Khumalo difule ngalokusemthethweni nahlelo kuthiwa i state business relations la kube nekukhulumisana emkhathini kwaHulumende kanjalo labo somabhizinisi labadimele ukuthi ngendiwa njani ukuthi kube lula kusebenza ba the business event. Umsebenzi lo sekelwe ngentimali la inhlangano yaka European Union njoba live leSwatini liyingcenye yenake kuthiwa i-Private Sector Development and Improvement of the Business Environment Program. Lekuyi program ke leta nemali lenganga 180 million mali langeni. Sitholele lithuba lekhulumisana nayo indvuna Manxuba Khumalo nalo omeleleke inhlangano yemava labamhlophe Esmeralda Hernandez Aragones lesitfolileke indaba ekuthenini cha sikhathi sakhe sekuthi kamelele lenhlangano kuleli vele eSwatini sesiyaphela kutabe kunayo nje umcimbi ukuthi avaleliswe. Lethemba lelikhulu sisamthola naselihlelo la kuva nje i-contribution yakhe nesikhathi sakhe sibenjani aseseswatini. Sibenzeke sakhulumisana nalebe katsamele i-International Trade Center ngobumcoka bale state business relations lekuvakalayo ukuthi kumavela sathuthukile kubo Italy center umehluko lomkhulu kakhulu enzabeni ye business. Bongosi asethule Manxuba Khumalo kanjalo ke na EU nalaba baka ITC kulomhlangano wetolo.
Kule lapha siyabonga besitovula ngalokho semthethweni umsebenzi lesithi ngesilungu state business relations sibambisene ne-European Union lesisitile ukuthi isponsorship lomsebenzi kuze ukuthi bosomabhizinisi bakangwane kanye nahulumende bakhona ukuhlala etafuleni bateketa indzaba letakwenda ukuthi kwenta ibhizinisi kangwane kube ngcono ngoba besisolo side mhlambe lihlaka lesisebenta ngalo lolusita ukuthi tindzaba tebhizinisi netindzaba tahulumende sihlanganise kuze ukuthi kutawuba ngcono nako lesikubita nge-ease of doing business kangwane. Siyakujabulela ke lokhu ngoba la kule sponsorship lesisitholile batawusisita lapha bekunene ukuthi kube nelhovisi lelisithathu ngesilungu i-secretariat letawuhlala ibita lemihlangano ibite bonke lalaba phathekako ema-stakeholders bete emihlanganweni bateketa indzaba bese ke badiletha kuhulumende ukuthi hulumende sicela ukuthi nende lokhu nilungise lokhu. Lokhu ngijabulisa konke ukuthi bekune labamele tinhlangothi letinengi takahulumende futhi ke le state business relations noma siholwa litiko laka commerce lo msebenzi loyo holwa litiko laka commerce kepha ke siya reporta nakundvunankulu lekutawufuneka ukuthi njalo nje ngenyanga njalo nje ngesikhathi lesitsite si report ekundvunankulu ukuthi sesihambe safikaphi letimvo labatincomile le tiyenteka yini lesikwentako kuze ukuthi sikulungise masinyane. So besitokwe launcha lokho ke le workshop lena kunebantu labanengi lababuya emaveni lahlukene labanye eAfrica labanye eEurope labanye mhlawumbe America labatawusisita la ukuthi le lapho kusebente kahle khona lokho kwe state business relations emaveni lafana nabo Italy emaveni lafana nabo Singapore nalamanye amave kusebente kanjani bese ke thina siyakwakha siyakubumba kubange kwethu.
Ingabe nje na hulumende vele ulungela kanganani mhlambe kususa lama bottlenecks lakhona ekuthenini abantu bakhona ukuqala ibusiness event.
Awu siyayisebenta leyo ndzaba indzaba vele lethatha ukuthi sibambisane sonke ngoba le state business relations lesisicala lamhla vele saloko ukuthi lama bottlenecks njengoba wabeka nje siwabeke ebaleni kube wonke mvabone ukuthi lokhu kuyasibambelela lokhu kuyasithumata kusenta ukuthi singakhuthali bese ke siyakusebenta ngakunye hulumende utimisele kakhulu kungako nje nathi sila ngoba siyabona lokho ukuthi uma singakwendi lokho kutawusibambelela lokukhulu kakhulu ukuthi lokunengi kwakhona ukhanza ukuthi kushicilelwe emthethweni kunemthetho lothi lokho akwenteke kanje kunemthetho lothi lokho akujike bandlelele nje ukhanza ukuthi ke loyo mthetho mhlawumbe sowedlulela isikhathi hulumende ke utimisele ukuthi asebenzisana netishaya mthetho deliver vele sikubuke lokho ukuthi leyo mithetho leyo sishesha njani ukuthi siyigucule. So le state business relations ke sitaselekelela lapho
ingabe sesiphila nje nduna inayitawusebenta kahle achieve nalama goal next ba achieve itabe seyisigucula lesimo sekufika hulumende ahambe mhlambe embili abe yiplayer nanaye la kanje nafuna create le environment ibe kahle
kakhulu. Siyathemba ukuthi sisakhulumisana nabo bonke labakhona lapho kufuneka ukuthi uhulumende athathe lichaza khona ahole kuma policies nalokwakha le simo le environment ukuthi ibe kahle batawusitshela ukuthi cha sicabanga ukuthi ningulumende lingasita lapho uhulumende kufuneka question khona dedele emuva batawusitshela futhi ngoba ngilokunye lokubanga lenkinga lokuthi ukhanze sina hulumende kulesinye isikhathi soyagcumukela so compete ne private sector lapho ngabe khona hulumende uvumela i private sector ukuthi isebenze singeke sikubale konke lokutawuphuma asifuni nekubatshela ukuthi sitshelene ukuthini kepha sibuka lokho ukuthi kutawuba ngiloko ukuthi kuphumani kuloyo msebenzi bese sineke sesi addressa lokho.
This is very important because it's the starting of a process that will put the private and the public sector together, to speak together in a permanent platform, and that will integrate women's and youth entrepreneurships, interest, potentialities, capacities in the country. It's very important that the public sector understand the challenges, the obstacles that the private sector encounter to find solutions and to create a business environment that creates richness and create wellness for everyone.
Thank you very much, and it's a privilege and honor for the International Trade Center to be here present today in the implementation of the EU-funded program and in collaboration with the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini and the private sector of Eswatini. The state-business relations are critical in order to achieve competitiveness, in order to promote and enable the private sector, and when I say private sector, I'm talking about small, medium enterprises, large companies, entrepreneurs, to do better business. It is relevant that policymakers in different ministries come together, collaborate with the private sector. It is relevant that the private sector collaborates with the policymakers, and that in this way we achieve both business and development that is inclusive for all.
One will say in this country we've seen so many initiatives being launched, but they do not yield the desired results. For this one to work, what would it take from both the private sector and the public sector?
Everything that is required for this initiative to work, for this private-public collaboration to work, is already here. Today in this meeting room, we have seen very strong commitment expressed by the government in his highest level representatives and by the private sector. It is not about solutions that are already made. It is not about models that are being implemented elsewhere. It is about learning from the success and the failures of others in order to adapt and develop a model that works in Eswatini. And this is the main objective of the collaboration that we are here facilitating. It is the main objective of the private sector. It is the main objective of the public sector. It is about working together. It is about understanding each other's position. It is about understanding where development needs to happen, where business needs to happen, and that development is part of business.
Ngoke bongosile umhlangano lebe uthula indvuna itolo state business relations sithema nje ukuthi utawuthela dithelo letingito kube lula kucala emabhizinisi eveni kuphindze kukhangeke bahlanyeli imali. Bongosisi libamba lapha ke hlelo lomhla kungulwesine semba uthini lithokodela njengoba sitekele ndzabadaka kwakhe indvodza la ukuthi basitaka kanjani bobaphe labo labatkhanza sebahlukubedekile. Sitekele ndzabadaka ukuthi umsakade kusela kusasa nje ensimbi yemfica utabe usakada ke umdlalo la wema Euro kudlala iqembu la se-Italy libhekeneke ne-Turkey. Bongosi imini yenu ayibengileyo lemnanzi nalebusekele sibona nehlelweni lengele kusasa sembe sinabo make benzaba bataba nesikhathi lesihle njengoba kulisuku labo make bemthandaza. Bongosi nisale kahle lo muhla.